This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Hey there, it's Brian Sebastian, movie reviews and more, and we are live. And look at that. I love how Tosh just pops up out of no place. I love that stuff like that. All right, so we're streaming worldwide over 103 outlets as usual around the world. It's Tuesday, so hey, and Kenny will like this. It's always about Giving Tuesday, always donating to those great organizations. I'm thinking of autism right now. We'll talk about that later. But we have to do those things like that. So, all the way live from Houston, Texas, Chef Rachel Roberts. All the way live from Nastasha Rumbleros from Miami, Florida. And she looks stunning today. And I'm waiting for our friend Aki Starr to come on. And from Nashville, Tennessee, the one and only dapper Howard Wiggins. And our special guest tonight from Nova Rex. I've been waiting for these guys, and I wonder why I have an echo, but I'll go with it. But here's the thing. Kenny, John, talk about yourselves. Why Nova Rex is a huge hit. Why you guys are in a music museum. Why you have this rocking cookbook. John, why you like Huck hats, because we like Huck hats. Who would have known? Let's start there. All right, John, let's start with John first. John, talk about Huck hats. Let's talk about Huck. Talk about Huck hats, because Howard introduced me to Huck hats. I can't wear a hat yet. Rachel can rock a hat. I know Nastasha can, but I can't wear one. But I like Huck hats. Talk about that first.
So, I always used to rock the hats Kenny's got on, right? Always the baseball hat, what have you. And then with the hair going, and then it starts going like this in the summer, and when the humidity comes out, because I'm here in Nashville as well, Howard, you need sort of a hat. So, in California, where I've been from, it was a different type of hat. You didn't have Huck hats out in California, but here in Nashville, I met Huck in a Brentwood, actually in Franklin. We were doing a downtown Franklin little street walk. Huck had his own little booth there. Became fast friends. Fast forward, my other friend Joey Sykes, who Kenny, he's a big Huck hat fan. So everybody in my family and in the Sykes family has Huck hats, and they finally got me to wear one. So they're great hats. They wear well. You can get them personally and privately made for you, so they distress them to how they want. Or you can have them brand spanking new. It's pretty cool. Huck hats.
I'm thinking Nova Rex endorsement.
Yeah.
I mean, you plugged the crap out of them. I want a hat now. Wait a minute.
Maybe we'll get him a set of chaps he'll make for us or something.
Yes,
we'll get Huck chaps.
The chaps.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Huck back on the show. He goes, I'm pretty busy right now. I'm like, Huck, we talk about your hats occasionally. Let's get him on.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. Yeah, Kenny, introduce yourself to the audience. Talk about that. Talk about who you are, why it's important. You're this great documentary that I saw that the hosts haven't seen yet because I saved it.
I even got a poster. Nova Rex ain't easy, staying cheesy. There you go. So cool. And no, it's all good. So basically, with the new documentary, it comes out that we've actually, there you go. We've teamed up with Bayview Entertainment, and it will be worldwide on August 29th. So I'm excited about that. This is our second documentary. I did another one a dozen years ago that ended up making it on the Doc Channel and had a quick run on Netflix. But this one's going to be exciting. It's obviously a dozen years later. we got Johnny B in the house.
Ain't easy staying cheesy.
Yeah, like so it ain't easy staying cheesy. The last one was being cheesy. Now it's staying cheesy. But yeah, check it out. It'll be everywhere. Prime Video, Tubi. I'll have all that information in the next couple weeks. But it's John. It's 6 weeks from today, man.
Can't wait.
Yeah,
time is flying.
I'm waiting for my 15 minutes of fame within this whole thing. Hopefully, I made 15 minutes.
And the check is in the mail.
Well,
It's even
John,
better.
talk about
I
this.
don't know your address, but
Kenny, has John seen the doc yet?
he's seen most of it. Yeah. I think he
So
only
this
watched
is-
the part that he's in it, but yeah.
So for someone who picks films, this is what I love about seeing documentaries. I always come back and tell the gang about, I just saw a great movie, and then you have to wait where you hope it's gonna go. And then there's always, because I always say it takes about 7 years to do the average documentary, because there's so much stuff that they want to capture in it, but you can only put so much in it, or else it starts to falter. But talk about, Kenny, what might be left out of it without giving too much away, because they're going to want to see this afterwards. And also, why did you do the sequel? Because the first one was kick-ass.
Well, because I could, and a lot's happened in a dozen years, So, and it's just a rock and roll story. I mean, the only thing about us and a lot of other bands, because you've seen bands that watch, they've seen the movie like The Dirt, right? Well, that's not a documentary. That's still actors. I mean, you've seen like Spinal Tap. That's a total movie. This is a full-on documentary about just pretty much Nova Rex from the beginning and to where we're at now. The story of rock and roll without taking penicillin.
So Rachel, you were like this because the last time, and I'm not sure if Tosh was on. I think Tosh might have been there, and Terry might have been there. We were talking about his rockin' cookbook to fight autism, which is really important to Kenny's heart. And I like this too because I used to have kids who are autistic to come on, and our horses like them. So that's kind of our connection with stuff. This is important. This is one of his favorite charities. And I love seeing pictures of his son when it comes to things like that. Talk about that, because there isn't anything to leave out when it comes to everything like that.
You talking about the cookbook?
Yeah.
Well, the cookbook, what happened? It was just a passion project. I mean, I have a 21-year-old son. He's on the autistic spectrum. They used to say Asperger's, but that's not really the word they're using now. But he's that kind of thing. And I had a radio show. I ended up getting a few recipes. It kind of became a gag. After I collected enough of them, I found the charity. And after so many years trying to raise the money, here you go. Rockin' Recipes for Autism. You can go to Rockin' Recipes.
I want a signed copy.
Excuse me?
I want a signed copy.
I can do that. And then you can always get to because
Okay.
the centerfold is John.
Okay.
Oh, look at that.
What John made. But I
That's
got a lot of good
awesome.
guys. Excuse me?
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, you just have to check it out. I've got members from Ozzy, Whitesnake, Quiet Riot, Warrant, and Joey Allen from Warrant. I've got Steve Lukather from Toto. There's a bunch of good ones in here. And John, of course.
I want that.
RockinRecipesForAutism.com. $30. That's all it is.
Well,
Okay.
worth the money.
But I want it
The
signed.
recipes are awesome.
Yeah, they are awesome. They're all over the place. But if you want to see what Ricky Rocket cooks, buy the cookbook.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, John, talk about what Nova Rex means to you. And because I don't know your history, so give the audience a little bit of history of where you came from and what you're doing now.
Oh gosh, yeah, we don't have enough time for that. I'll be here for the next.
The quick version.
Hold on,
We've done
we have-
part 1, 2,
I've got
and
a
3.
half-page pamphlet somewhere. Let me just tell you. So I got introduced to Kenny. There you go.
Yes.
I had to shave in that. That must have been a November show.
You got the there you go. That's more rocker right there. You go.
Yeah. So I met Kenny a little over 10 years ago when I was going through an audition process for a band called the Babies, and they needed a singer.
Very cool.
One of the guys in the Babies was a guy named J.P. Cervoni. He was the original guitar player for Nova Rex.
Correct.
So we had some good kind of just good places to walk together at the same time. So that was my indoctrination into Nova Rex. The funny thing is, I'd been a California guy forever, and I'd heard of Nova Rex back in the 80s into the 90s. Never ever played with them. We were never on the same bill together, but we all kind of marched in that same direction together back in those days. And then when the opportunity came to come out and do a couple shows, it was kind of fun because, the songs are fun. They're very, very well crafted, right? So they're, hey, if you can go back into the days when all we really sung about was getting laid, I mean, that's pretty much where it was. And, that's where we are today. So it was a fun time.
Wait a minute, aren't you guys still writing songs about that?
Pretty
Well,
much.
everybody else
yeah.
is.
We do, but it's really covert now. You really just kind of lay it out there without just putting it in their face.
Yeah, you have to see the new video we did, Time Is Up For You, that we did last year, and it's crazy. It's got the whole 80s vibe. I mean, we've
Yep.
got flash pots, fire,
burning
smoke, burning cars. Yeah, it's pretty awesome, pretty epic, like it's supposed to be. I mean, I only know one thing, that's on 10. So, that's what we do.
All right, Nonstop, you just popped in a little while ago. Tell them who you are, followed by Rachel.
Yeah, Terry, they're speaking your
Howard,
language.
And Tosh.
Yes, Terry loves 80s.
Hi, I'm Terry Marie here in Sherman Oaks, California. I've been with Brian for, since 2004. Is it 2014? Is that, I think?
Mm-hmm.
Fitness competitor, actress. I do celebrity interviews with Brian. I'm an artist. I'm a businesswoman. I'm a trader. I do lots of. I'm nonstop. That's my nickname. So anyway,
Get to the part where you're a rock and roll chick, 80s rock and roll chick.
I do. Well, I am a rock and roll chick. So I do a TikTok where I do dances to like 80s and 90s rock. I was in my friend's. I'm going to be in 2 of his videos for Wicked Star, if you're familiar with those guys. I danced as a go-go dancer with Velvet Revolver and a couple of shows with Trashy Lingerie. So that kind of goes into a little bit my past.
No, I know who the rocker is. Brian's the rocker because I seen the little trailer at the beginning of the show, and he's got like 3 guys and all hot chicks. That's it. That's it. Just 3 dudes and then just hot mamas, right? That's rock and roll, baby.
Well, wait till the new one comes out in a couple months.
Yeah, right. So,
all right, Rachel.
What I want to know, and I got John too. Brian's actually seen the documentary, right? You got
kick ass.
It's a
great doc.
What did you like? What did you give me your opinion on it? I want to know what you.
Well, I like because it's educational. I always say it's got to have the 4 E's.
Right.
It's exciting to watch. It's entertaining. It's educational, and to me it's empathetic also. Okay. There's a lot of empathy in there and stuff that goes in because I think of what goes into making a documentary. Right. Sooner or later, we are all going to be in one for movie reviews and more. I'm telling you guys now, so you're prepared one day. But it takes a while to put all this stuff together. You've got to go back and get this footage. You got to get these people. Sometimes you got to get the rights to the songs. It's all challenging.
No, you know what? The crazy thing about it, it took over a year. But mostly it's just editing because edits are typically 5 seconds. I mean, so you think when you put it together a 70, 80-minute movie, think of how many 5-second clips there are. It's insane.
Mm-hmm. All right, Rachel, tell them who you are. Go ahead.
Okay, Rachel Roberts Recipes here in Houston, Texas. You can see me in the mornings. Coffee Talk. I have a little show. I'm working on my own little cooking show, and I've got all sorts of things going on. So in a cookbook myself. So yeah, it's you find me in the mornings, right? You can find me on any social media at Rachel Roberts Recipes.
There you go.
And I've been working with Brian for a long time.
Howard Wiggins, go for it, Howard.
Howard Wiggins, simply Howard Wiggins Facebook. I've been busy here lately. I did a little extra part in a movie this last week, and then I got contacted by somebody to do a rock video where I'm the only person in the video, and they'll be filming me for 2 hours, and I'll be dancing to it. And it's a rock video.
Okay.
And I did Jack White, What's the Trick? I'm in that video. It's got over 3 million views on it. Got 3 million in 1 week. So I'm just open for anything coming my way. So be it acting, modeling, whatever.
Cool.
You know.
All kinds of the hat.
We love you.
No, he looks good even without his hat, whether it's a top hat, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, Tosh. And then when Mr. Starr comes back, you get a chance to introduce him based on his connection. Go ahead.
Yes. So hi, I'm Natasha Rumbos, but a lot of people call me vocally Tosh. That's my little Instagram handle. So I'm a Latin pop singer songwriter. I focus a lot on a little bit of reggaeton, very Spanish music, and I've been doing it for I've been doing it for a couple of years already, just my original music. I just took out my latest single called Hangyar 2 months ago. It's my 5th single out, and it's honestly my best single yet. It just reached 1,000 views, which is pretty exciting because none of my videos have ever reached 1,000 views. So I'm like, all right, I'm doing something good. You know, we're like elevating each time we're releasing new music. And I'm also an on-air personality on La Mega 97.5 every Sunday, which Aki, wherever he is, right over here, he's actually the program director of that radio station and a lot of other radio stations, and he's also a musician. Like, he does it all. So I'm glad you were able to get on the show, Aki, and let us tell us about yourself and about what you've been up to and music. And I'm excited that you're here. Thank you for hopping on.
Am I on? Is my microphone on? Mic check 1 2. Could y'all hear me?
Yes, all good.
Yes.
Yep. Well, how you doing? I'm honored to be on the show today. Yeah, I thought I'd mention that it's been a hard month. 3 weeks ago, my mom passed away, so
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been quite a struggle, and you know, when you lose your parents, especially your mom, it's the pain is indescribable. So, but you know, I'm dealing with that, but you know, she would have wanted me to stay strong and to keep moving forward. So that's what I'm doing. So you know, there's a lot of work. There's lots of work to do, and like Tosh was saying, I'm involved in multiple radio stations, and we're happy to have her in La Mega 97.5 FM in Rochester, New York. La Mega is the biggest Latin station in upstate New York. They play, you know, all the latest reggaeton, bachata, you know, Daddy Yankees, you know, the Don Omars, the Tekashi 6ix9ine, the you know, all the latest, you know, Karol G, Becky G. I mean, all the number one Latin artists that are hitting big. So it's a big market, Rochester. It's a huge market, and
Right.
And Tosh is on the air on Sundays, and she's got great rave reviews. Everybody loves her. She's got great content. They like the tone of her voice. She's amazing. So yeah, she's doing a great job. So I just want to give her props right now and let everyone know how great of an on-air personality she is, because she's known now.
Yeah, we love her.
Oh yeah.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, right.
Well, Kenny and John, so do you guys know the last time Aki was on, he surprised her in giving her that on the show, and I thought that
that's
was
cool.
great.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have him back because he's world renowned on the stuff that we used to do. And Aki, I thank you for being on, because I was sending you prayers virtually for what you were going through, because I saw a movie based on grief, and it's a really, really important. And I'll take this. I'd like to hear a favorite memory of you and your mom, if you have one, if you don't mind.
Oh, absolutely. There's a neighborhood in San Francisco that has a bunch of stairs, like 200 steps, you know, stairs going up like a 2-block radius. And during COVID, I took Mom to a few of the stairs. Mind you, this was, you know, 2.5 years ago during COVID, or is it 3 years now? I lose track of time. But anyways, so Mom, even at 89 years old, she would walk up 200 steps all the way to the top. And I used to put it on my Facebook Live, and it just shows you how great of a shape she was even 2 years ago. So for her funeral, I had many photos of her walking up the steps. So I took one of the best photos and I photoshopped it and made the steps seem like if she was walking up to heaven. And I showed that, you know, I made a big poster of that. So at the funeral, that was the main photo that was featured or displayed, showing her walking up her own steps to heaven. So that was very touching to me, and that's I have so many memories, but that's a recent memory that I can share right now, because I could say, hey, she had her own steps to heaven. We didn't have to use
I love
the
it.
picture.
That's very cool.
I think that's great. And again, we're you haven't met Kenny or John yet, but we're talking about documentaries. And again, this is why I love movies. This is why this is the movie reviews, and it's also about the more. We've all experienced a loss. It's not easy. You really never get over it, and you should always keep those memories. You should always be talking about those people. And so when I'm praying, because I'm a Buddhist, when I'm praying for my friends, I'm praying for their health, their happiness, and the things that they're about to go through, and the things that go get you through those things. And Kenny, going back to you, that's why I think of great photos of you and your son and what you guys do and how close you are and being in that rock world. And then John, I think I've met you now that I'm seeing things and just thinking back, because I wasn't that rocker, but I was in that rock world with everything. And yeah, let's show this trailer, matter of fact, because I have a feeling I ran into you.
Love it.
Is it hard to get in some clubs though if you're hard rock because you don't play the top 40, the dance tunes?
Well, really, it's not hard rock as much as all original. The difference between us and a band, say like Def Leppard, we never 1,000 chicks after a gig. We only had 20. Rock and roll! I go in the room, I'm looking for JP, and he's truly hanging naked in a closet with gravity boots. That's how I like that. That was me. Hairspray, big boots, party, drink all night, throw up, drink some more.
Go back in time a little.
Kenny Wilkerson here.
Correct. Hey. That was almost like you at one point, right? With the hair and all that. I'm sorry.
Grunge came in and it just took us out.
The time is up, baby.
I don't need to wake up and listen to you harping about you're unhappy. Do something.
Talk, tick tock.
Getting ready to rock out over in Daytona Beach. One of the top hair bands of the 80s is taking over the new hard rock.
Learn as much about the business as you can and just be thankful that you're able to do it on any level, even if you never make it as big as Nova Race.
No amount of money will ever take away from that. I don't care how poor you are, if you got to eat ramen noodles, if you got to be eating run jellies for 2 months. Those experiences are going to be the most memorable and best parts of your life. I know they are for me.
I just did an interview and somebody asked me, where do you see the band in 10 years? And I said, Social Security. It was only kind of comical, by the way.
That's a great line.
Great.
You got to put the epic scream at the end there, right?
Dude, that was the funniest crap, dude.
Let's get ready, dude. I'm telling you, it's 6 weeks from today, John.
It looks
What a
such a
great
fun
voice.
documentary. I'm really interested in watching this because it looks like so fun. Like you guys are like, you could see how passionate you are about like what you do and what you represent, and like it's so awesome to see that through the screen.
Yeah, well,
I feel that energy.
My thing about the doc
that
is
last note that the singer was amazing.
What's that?
That last note that the singer held was amazing.
Well, that's
what I do.
Yeah, that's what he does, man.
Yeah.
He can I'm telling you, you got to check out the new video. Time is up for you. Just check out that video. It's part of that clip, but the video is online. It's got like 100,000 views or something. But he's got
we
the
need
box.
help to get it over the 100,000 mark. So come on,
yes.
You're telling your friends. Tell 2 friends, and they'll tell 2 friends.
Yeah, it's funny about videos, right? You know, when you do a single, it's good for just a minute, and then it's gone. You know what I mean? And you got to come up with a new one. It's like I got 98,000 views on that video in the first 2 weeks.
Damn, I want to be like you. I want to get to your level, like eventually in my career, because I'm excited about 1,000 views. I can't even imagine 98,000 views. That's really awesome.
Yeah. The numbers mean a lot, and it's funny because Aki, you're used to you came back in the day, and I've been thinking about you a lot. Not only because you and your mom, but how you started. Because I've been running into a lot of people from way back. And you go back to those times where picking that right artist, picking that song. I think of Trenier. I think of where Shakira and everybody, and where J Lo is now before she started singing, because rock and Latin and rock are huge around the world. And for me, everything goes together. That's just how I see it.
Absolutely. Music like Carlos Santana, Flying the Family Stone, Journey, Foreigner, The Grateful Dead, Jefferson Starship, all the bands that came out of the Bay Area, before my time. But the Bay Area has been a hotbed for some great rock and roll. Definitely part of the history of rock and roll.
Those are all good bands.
Hey, Aki, talk about what you're working on now. I'm curious.
Right now, I'm part of a band called Malo, which was started by Jorge Santana, which is the brother of Carlos Santana. Malo had a hit song in 1972 called Suavecito. If you go to Wikipedia, they mention Suavecito. They consider it the Chicano national anthem. Anyways, so Malo's been around for since the 70s, but we're working on some new music to be released hopefully in the next 6 months. To keep the band relevant. The band's been around for years and years, and the song Suavecito has enabled the band to do shows even to this day. We'll do shows with the Ohio players, with Zap, with Denise Williams, with Brenton Wood, with the Ohio players, with Earth, Wind and Fire, with Tower of Power. It's that old school circuit. So the band has maintained its relevance by the hit song. So now we're doing a new song, and we're hoping to get some of the younger crowd so we can do some of the younger shows.
Yeah.
John, it's always about bringing that younger audience in because, I don't drink coffee, but I listen to Rachel, Coffee Talk. But it's one of those things where rock and roll and classic music, that's my coffee. I believe it or not, Ambrosia, I was made to love her by Stevie Wonder. These things get me going as I've got my 3 computers going on with stuff. And then I start to get in and gotta hear it. Van Halen ain't talking about love because all of a sudden, if I'm not awake, I'm awake by that. So those things get me going. And then so now I started listening to a couple other things and I was like, wow, I miss that rock. I miss hanging out with everybody like that. I'm working on getting Billy Idol on and a couple from the Village People on and a couple other people because we're losing too many people. The good thing is that the music is a classic. There's a great doc on Donna Summer. There's a great doc on the first gay disco which was interesting because that's where a lot of these music things broke out. But putting everybody together, we all like different types of music, but for me, it all goes together. And Aki, you would agree with this. Everything goes together. That's why I'm happy that Tosh is on in New York. That's why, every couple of weeks we put on Howard dancing to everything because it all goes together.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's all about, the exposure, and typically it all comes from your parents, right? So, I mean, my parents had everything from Bach to rock if you really worked on it, right? We had the Carpenters, we had Jim Croce, we had Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, the Four Tops. I mean, Diana Ross, Michael Jackson. You did what you could do, and you just were exposed to as much music as you could, and you gravitated where you wanted. But in the middle of that, I think what you're just trying to say and allude to. Rock for me is right at the heart of absolutely everything because there's a beat to rock. I would call a heartbeat, really. However you want to play it, if you do it right, it's going to send you somewhere, right? So it's pretty cool. Other things have vibes, other things have feelings. Rock really has a heart if you really look for it, and there's some pretty cool stuff within it.
I agree with that too, because as you mentioned, our parents, but not only our parents, our grandparents too, because if you're talking the 40s and the 50s, you have people like Nat King Cole, Johnny Mathis, Frank Sinatra, the Rat Pack. So music has evolved over the years, and I encourage everyone to really study the history of music because music has been it's been amazing since Mozart was doing music, or Beethoven. So music has been around since mankind's been around. So there's a lot of history with music. So I agree with what you said. Rock and roll. With even Elvis Presley, Chuck Berry. All that whole timeline. The Beatles, in my opinion, the first boy band is the Beatles. I'm not sure if you guys agree or disagree with me, but that was to me, that was one of the first boy bands ever.
Well, and I get into this, Kenny. I got to say this real quick because one of the best documentaries I just saw was on Little Richard. So, and Elvis the people kind of jumping on that because he started with rhythm and blues and everything like that. He was friends with them. When you got James Brown asking the Elvis Presley estate that they can have 20 minutes just to pay homage to Elvis Presley because they were friends, and when you have the King, Elvis Presley, paying homage to Little Richard because Little Richard started before all of them, 3 years before them. So he's the king and queen of rock and roll. And then going into, Grand Ole Opry, one of the best documentaries I also have all seen is the history of country music. That was fabulous. This goes into where Howard, talk about your dad. Talk about the Grand Ole Opry.
Well, actually, I'm in an Elvis documentary talking about my father because Colonel Parker was my dad manager before Elvis because he was Eddie Arnold's manager, and my dad played steel guitar for Eddie Arnold. And the story goes that Eddie Arnold got mad at everybody except for my father. And in the people that he got mad at was Chet Atkins. He fired Chet Atkins. He became famous. He fired Colonel Parker. And when he fired Colonel Parker, he gave him $30,000. And with that $30,000, he bought Elvis's contract. So if it wasn't for being fired, there, who knows if there would have been an Elvis or not. So, but every year I used to get Christmas gifts from Elvis Presley as a child all my life. So
Hey, Howard.
Yeah, I did.
Howard, did you check out the Elvis movie, the Elvis movie with Tom Hanks?
Oh yeah, I love that. I was wondering how good. Locally, they've done a documentary on Elvis that I got a little small part on it where I just tell the story I told you. Right. And I'll be in that documentary. I don't know when it's going to be aired, but it's already been filmed. So,
and we have a couple of members of the Presley family coming in the next couple months, actually. And we'll talk about that. But Kenny, that movie was one of the best. That was the best movie last year, Elvis.
Yeah, I loved it.
It was absolutely the best year. And that
the guy played a great Elvis too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he did. But I like the whole story of Colonel Parker. That was always my thing. You can ask John. I'm always like, I'm either Colonel Parker, P.T. Barnum. That's the guys I look up to. You know what I mean? I get Jimmy Page.
The Wizard of Oz.
Not even behind the scenes. They own the scene. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's true.
That's Clive Davis territory. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, like I said, Clive is still with us, but here's the other song that I hear every morning. It's the 2004 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Tom Petty. I can't remember the other two people on it, and then Prince. Gently, My Guitar Weeps. Every day I play that.
I've seen that. Yeah.
And so for me, just having Prince on the stage with everybody else, we don't have Tom Petty anymore. That's what bothers me. So I love the music aspect of things, and I'm really that black guy that's really white because my friends used to kidnap me and make me listen to everything. Thank goodness they did, because I wouldn't have been well-rounded that way when it comes to music. So when I come out and I see a couple of the people left, that's really emotional because you got to pay homage to what was there before us because we don't know what's coming after us, right, Aki?
True.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I got a question for you. So what do you think about the whole AI thing? You know how, like they said, Paul McCartney, which is not really AI because it's tracks, they're already done. But I told my kid about that story about 3 weeks ago, right? My 21-year-old son, and he did that whole AI thing, and he sent me back within 15 minutes that song Odyssey, Space Odyssey, I think it was, right? Because you had to find a solo track. I don't know why he grabbed that, but he put in John Lennon's voice. And I swear to God, he played it back for me, and it was 90-some% on. I was like, wow, that's my kid doing that in 15 minutes.
Wow.
Did a song.
Yeah. So my answer to that question is AI it's here. It's here to stay. And as everything new, you got to keep up with the times. And AI is not going anywhere. AI is not just in the music business, but in every business possible. As a matter of fact, I'm working on some AI stuff for real estate, but AI, music wise, I've seen it. People imitate voices.
Right.
You can get a whole song written by AI. You can get a whole song recorded. I just heard a song that was recorded with AI and it had Eminem's voice, but it wasn't Eminem. So,
so what's going to happen 5 years from now? Are we going to run out of artists because of AI? You think?
Yeah, what's going to happen is somehow it's got to be regulated because the original artists need to get compensated.
The artists are going to have to copyright all of their voices. They're already starting to be. There's already lawsuits that are going down right now. With, not necessarily singers, but like Sarah Silverman's doing it right now. There's a bunch of different lawsuits happening for people doing just that with AI, ripping somebody's voice, and really it's not only the voice, but it's also the works, because they go and can take somebody who writes a novel and it's a published novel and it's their works, it's their thing, but it could be consumed digitally and then spat out through ChatGPT or others, and all these snippets come out of books that nobody's getting compensated for. Right. And
Which is why the writers are on strike, and SAG may go on strike tomorrow for one of those major reasons. But you got to stay ahead of it. And I've been telling people, I know the studios have a small little team of people working on AI because, like I said, I predicted that they would be on strike until at least the end of September, the writers. So now they're working to see, okay, how do we have a show? How can we promote something? Because Mission Impossible opens tomorrow. That's why Tom is in Europe doing stuff. Because you can't do local promotion, and no one wants to cross picket lines for stuff like that because of what's going on.
Aki, do you think with this whole AI thing, do you think it'll eventually get into like radio, like on-air personalities, like becoming like just AI?
It's
and
already
like
there.
It's already there.
It's already there.
Listen, I've done radio shows off and on, FM shows and stuff, and most of these shows anymore don't even have a staff. You just go in and record that stuff for minimum wage, and then they're out of there. There's no DJs. There's no breaking in with live people too much anymore.
You're right.
That stuff's already done.
You're right about that. The only really live thing now is the satellite radio, like Sirius XM.
Sure.
The FM stations, you have one guy there, like an engineer. He'll show up there for a few hours, make sure everything runs good. But all the on-air personalities are sending in their shows pre-recorded. That's how radio is. And so radio, the way it looks like, FM radio eventually is going to come to an end. And satellite radio is going to be here to take over.
And AM is on the line too.
Wow.
Yeah. So
this is why I tell everybody. Sorry to cut you off real quick. This is why I always do our live shows. We've never done a taped show. Even in 2 weeks, I can't do it on Tuesday because we have our fundraiser for Dreamweaver Arts. I'm going to do our live shows, and I'm going to talk to Rebel about it later on a Wednesday. I will not do a tape show for those reasons. I want to keep everything going so no one can, again, it's called staying ahead of the game, which no one is really doing. So when people take a week off on their podcast, that's when AI slips in. You got to stay ahead of these things. Sorry, Aki.
Right.
Well, you got to keep moving. That's for sure.
Reminds me of Clubhouse. I don't know if anyone's heard of Clubhouse.
Yes.
I have.
Yeah, I never got into Clubhouse, but I like this format because it's live. Eventually you can't replace the live aspect of real people, and all you people in here are real right now, and we can see each other, and to me that's amazing, and it's going to be hard to replace. So I think this type of chat, this type of show is here for a while, in my opinion. I'm not sure if you guys think otherwise, but I like the fact that we can all see each other. We're human. We can all talk and interact with each other, and that's something that AI can't do yet.
Yet. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
No, I get worried about it.
Yeah, the key word is yet.
Yeah. No, I'm just worried about entertainers, songwriters. I think it's going to go into Hollywood too, as far as eventually somebody's going to win an Oscar, and it's going to be a CGI character.
That would be great, though.
They almost do it now. You know what I mean? Look at Avatar, right? I mean, so
yeah,
it's coming, but the whole system is just out of control now.
Right.
Well, and that's one reason why it's important to promote the arts. Every tag that there's, it's always about supporting, promoting those writers, producers, directors. I put so many hashtags up every day. I'm tired of doing it, but I've gotten great at doing it because it is important to do all of that stuff. Hey, John, talk about this. Where do you see what you're doing the next 2 years happening because of all the stuff we've been talking about? How do you stay ahead of everything?
The music business today, in terms of this, I mean, now that we're going to be like on-screen cable TV stars or streaming video stars, but besides that, now the music business today, I mean, besides being in the digital world, everybody's all about the numbers that you get from streams, right? So what does Spotify numbers look like? You know, as a touring act, you know, we're always being asked and booked on how large our Spotify numbers are, how large, you know, and so that's how the, you know, Polestar is one thing where they'll go get the ticket receipts and everything that goes through and they'll check that, but they'll go and say, oh, great, you know, so, you know, you have 500,000 users or, you know, streams going every month. That's not too bad, but this band has 2 million, you know, therefore we're going to book them because they might be guaranteed to be selling more. There you go.
Can you guys see that number?
Yeah,
We're at 16,509,000. That's where we are today. Every day our numbers go up. I've been keeping track since April 19th of April 16th of 2019. That's our number. You can see it. But in general, that's why it's important. Again, so how I'm staying ahead, live shows, having people like you on, talking about the artists, and mixing everything up because everything goes together, and that's why we're one of the world's best. And speaking about that, Rebel, let's talk about some of the things that we've written that we won for. And I've never even submitted the show, so I forgot what we got. Something we just got something else, and Tosh just got something. So this was for an artist event that we did because artists are having the same problem with AI. They're afraid of AI taking their work away, paintings. So we had Gia, one of our new members of Movie Review Some More. She was painting live out of, it wasn't a rave, but it was like
Oh, I love myself a rave.
yeah, but the music was great. It was interesting, and obviously I had my Okai scooter at the drum corps show, and this other guy he was the only one that had his. So, but I was scooting around the Rose Bowl doing all of this stuff, and then running into this. You guys will see him later. He's the Blue Devils Drum and Bugle Corps is one of the best drum corps in the entire world. And, you know, seeing this is what gets me going because this is how I started in the arts. And again, going back to the arts, being that drummer, we got rock and rollers on it and seeing kids perform out there. This is in the Rose Bowl. This is like, they will never get a chance to do this and they age out 21. And then, you know, what do you do after that? You know, with a music background, do you go into a rock band? Do you go into an orchestra? A music director get on air? It's not easy to do these things anymore. But that's why it's important to talk about all the stuff that we're doing, whether it's Rachel, with her cooking or her katsu, or talking about Balance 7 Water, and even Tosh having her show on, talking about Nova X, Ain't Easy Staying Cheesy, and then being on all of that, things like this. All right, Tosh, talk about you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this is my single, Hangyar. I invite you guys to watch it. It's a really, really fun, vibrant video. I shot it right in Ocean Drive. I dare say that I shut down Ocean Drive that morning because the video looks like I shut that shit down. So, very fun video. It's about, it actually was inspired when I went to Puerto Rico. So that's, hangyar is a term they use a lot in Puerto Rico. And it's like when you're like gonna go like, get lit or like go out and party or like have a good time. That's basically what the word means. So the song is about, having a good time with like your loved ones and always enjoying life and being vibrant and being all those good energies. So that is my single, Hangyar. And I actually just got, about a couple weeks ago, I got my first award from a show in an award show in Venezuela, and that's where I'm from. So that was very nice to be able to be like, wow, I got like my first like award little show. So they're gonna send me my little plaque, and it was the award was for the song of Hangyar being an urban female exterior. I can't pronounce it. I can't do translation right now from Spanish to English, but it was a really, really nice award. So yeah, I definitely would love for you guys to check it out and get some, Latin vibes up for this weekend. And yeah, I'm working on new music already, so you'll be seeing new music before the year ends. And it's gonna be a good time. I'm kind of switching over to the Dominican Republic and doing dembo. For people that don't know what dembo is, it's basically like you hear that da, 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 da. So it's basically very like that's all my music.
I heard that all Sunday night, and people just would not stop dancing, and I was fascinated by it. That's why I was taking pictures. I'm like, wow, I didn't. Aki, this is why I was thinking about you. I didn't know the songs, and I wanted to go up and ask the disc jockey because I'm a former DJ myself. I wanted to go up and ask him, well, who plays this? But I couldn't get to the guy, and I would ask people as they were dancing. I don't know. We're just dancing. That's what I miss. knowing who the songs are, so I can go out and say I want to see this. Going to YouTube and trying to find it. I don't even know what I was listening to, but I loved it.
Oh yeah, and Natasha's video is outstanding. I love it. It's a feel good video. It'll make you want to get up and dance because she's dancing with her dancers. The production is great. The singing is A-level. So I advise all of you guys to check out that video because it's amazing. The single is fire.
Awesome.
Llegó el viernes y queremos salir. Vivamos el weekend pasado en repeat. Traigo a la nena pa' prender esta vaina. Somos las primeras en la pista sin falta. Pa' arriba, pa' abajo, pa' el centro y pa' adentro. Ese show me calentó el cuerpo. Bandolera, bandolera, bandolera. Así me pongo cuando pierdo la cabeza. Salió la natilla a perrear.
I love it.
God, I love it. Thank you.
Okay, we got about 4 minutes left.
Video.
Tosh, give you social media links, how people can listen to you Sunday, and what's coming up for you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so all my social media is at Vocally Tosh. You can listen to my radio show every Sunday from 4 to 8, downloading the application La Mega 97.5. You'll be able to listen to me on there. And my website is natasharumbosmusic.com. A lot of cool stuff has been uploaded. A lot of cool podcasts that I've been part of in Mexico and Medellin. So it's been a really nice month of just promo. And by the end of July, actually, I'm going to be having a song released with Ian Guerin. So I'm excited for that collaboration. So keep watching out for that. And yeah, keep on living life and rocking it. Just like
Terry, go for it. And where we're going tonight, go ahead, Terry.
Okay, so all my social media is Terry Marie Nonstop, and my website is terrymarieofficial.com. And then tonight, Brian and I are going to the Game on Gala for the ESPYs, where my friend Max is promoting. So I'm excited. So I got to get all dolled up after we get off. And we will have pictures next week.
Awesome.
Howard Wiggins, talk about what you're wearing and what room you're in.
I'm actually sitting on my steps. That's why I kind of fell off earlier. But anyway, I just wanted to find a new location that I hadn't shown you yet. But I'm Howard Wiggins Facebook, plain and simple. I actually have Howard Wiggins Interior Design because I was used to be one of the world's 35 leading interior designers. But I retired about 5 years ago. So now just look up at Howard Wiggins Facebook. And that keeps me busy all day and all night long because I got a lot of people following me. So I'm just living life, seeing what happens, and enjoying it.
Aki, tell them who you are, what you got coming up, social media links.
Aki Starr, AKISTARR. Just look up that name everywhere. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Easy. You just type in my name and I'll show up there on your doorstep.
With a long list of accomplishments and history. You definitely want to have him on your show. John, go ahead. Social media links, documentary Nova Rex, go ahead.
John Basa, everywhere.
Hey, doing a shout out for John real quick. John is the guy who sang Rock the Pond for the Anaheim Ducks, right? Am I correct on that, John?
That was the Anaheim Mighty Ducks back in the day.
And they got a new documentary coming out as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats.
Regarding that, yeah. Regarding the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim.
I can't wait to see
get a chance
that.
to check it out. Go to type in John's name, Rock the Pond. You'll remember the song.
It's a fun tune. It was on the D2 soundtrack too for the movie, so that was cool. Yeah.
Chef Rachel Roberts.
She's like, huh? What?
All right, Rachel. Social media links.
Rachel Roberts recipes. Right?
And morning coffee talk.
At Rachel Roberts recipes. Money. Coffee talk. Yeah, and I've got a TV show, and I don't know. You'll see me.
Talk about balance
Come on, go to
and
the
water
next
really
question.
quick before we go to Kenny. I just had a shot of that, Howard. I don't drink the whole thing like you do. I just needed my shot.
Okay. You can give it to your dogs. You can give it to your grandma. You can give it to your kids. Drink balance 7.
And it works well.
It's good for you.
Kenny, you
Don't
get the
drink
last
the whole
word.
bottle, Howard.
Exactly.
But I like it.
So, yeah, anyways, guys, check it out. Go to NovarexRocks.com. You can check us out on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and all that. But that's what you want to check out. Novarex Ain't Easy Staying Cheesy, Bayview Entertainment release. It's brought to you by our sponsors, Writer Now Magazine and the Fran Hosh Law Group. And the thing will be everywhere on August 29th. And you get to see John's pretty face in there.
Yeah.
And the tour you guys are going to be on. Go ahead.
Oh, well, this a show that's coming up fairly quick is Rocklahoma. This will be our fourth time there, and just check it out. It's the biggest Labor Day weekend party in Oklahoma, in Pryor, Oklahoma. I can't remember all the bands, but I think the night we're there is Rob.
You got Limp Bizkit. You got Pandora.
Yeah, it's all the studs. You know, so it's a good time. Good place to party with 100,000 people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Being hot. I want to thank everybody for coming on. It's never easy to put these shows together, but I love doing stuff like that because you need to see these documentaries, you need to listen to the music, and you need to know the history of everything, whether it's Howard, whether it's Terry, whether it's, Rachel and vocally Tosh, and you need to listen to her show. So I always say this, have a good night tonight, a better day tomorrow. You see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours because the world needs it. I'm Brian Sebastian. This is Movie Reviews and More, and we will see you next week.